So here we are back at the Perma-ledger dashboard. As I mentioned before, this is what's due to be planted. As time goes by, as you can see, it goes off into the future. But what I want to show today is something called plantings and a particular detail from one planting. I'm going to click on the assets drop down here, and there's the entry for plantings. Now, a planting is, in the case of Perma-ledger or Farm OS, is everything that's ever gone through the system that could be planted and yield food or flowers or whatever it may be. So in this case here, I'm just going to scroll to the bottom. This is all the plantings we've ever handled, and there's 2,170 of them in total. That doesn't mean we planted all of them, but it means something's happened. You know, somebody's donated them to us, or something's caused them to get into the system. So this is assets. We'll look at planting, sorry, which is an asset. Let's go into, this is a filter. It says here filters. I'm going to filter on a very popular planting of ours, which is a particular fava bean. So I've put in the name filter, I've put fava, and I'm going to click apply. And here we end up with a list of all the fava beans in the system. Favas, by the way, are also known as black beans. Black beans. Black beans are black beans, sorry. Broad beans. Got that right this time. Alright, so here's the one I'm going to home in on, which is an Italian heritage fava, because we've planted a lot of them. This is a bean that really started our whole system. These beans were donated to us back in 2018, so let's go in there and see what we see. So here's the name of the bean. This is touched on this before. This is a QR code. Every entry in our system has a QR code, pretty much all of them anyway. And what this enables us to do, if we sent out packets of beans with this QR code on, or if we planted beans somewhere and we put a little sign next to them with this QR code in it, you could scan this with a smartphone typically, and it'll bring you to this page. And what does this page show? As well as a description of the bean as an overall item at the top here. Then what we get is what's happened to this bean since we got it in the first place. So seedings are when we take a seed and we put it into the ground, we put it into soil, either in the ground, in a bed or whatever it may be, or in a seeding tray. So this is all the seedings that we've done with this particular bean since we first got it back in 2018. These are activities. I've gone through these sorts of things in a previous video, but these are things that we may, you know, the particular things we did, you know, and there's not that many in here, but there could be one, there could be many. There's no limit on this. Observations of things we've seen, where, like it says here, fava beans popping up. Again, we've looked through these on a more overall scale, but this is specific to this particular fava bean. So we're tracing what's happened to it and it's over the years. Here are harvests, and this is important, as I've mentioned in the last thing, because at the end of the day we're planting to get a yield of some kind or other. So these are all the harvests that we've had with this particular bean. Sales, we don't sell things in that sense. There's been a couple of times where people have wanted to donate, you know, to the system, and one of the ways that I feel is fair, if they do want to, is to get something in return. The other thing that we'd class as a sale is if we give out beans, we donate beans. We've done that in this particular case with this bean a lot, and it's growing all over I'm in Eugene, Oregon, by the way, in the United States. It's growing all over Eugene at the moment in different places. The wonderful thing about this as well is it's a self-sustaining perennial in many ways, because you'll see once you've planted them the first time, even though you do a harvest, some of them will come back, you know. And if you don't do anything, that gets more prolific every year. If you just let them grow and don't harvest them, that gets more prolific every year. It's a wonderful crop to grow. I can't recommend it enough. And it's a wonderful crop in many ways. First of all, it benefits the soil through nitrogen fixing. Then you can eat the leaves. The stems, once they're dry, can be used as supports. These are a self-supporting pole bean, by the way. They grow straight up. And of course there's the bean itself, which can be eaten fresh or can be dried and eaten as a, you know, as you might eat a black bean, to mention a black bean again, or a pinto bean. So a wonderful crop, but very much a staple. It grows in most places I'm aware of. I mean, they certainly grew in England where I grew up, which is, as I mentioned earlier, where they're called broad beans. So we're getting towards the end of this video. This is showing a planting asset, a particular detail on one particular crop, which is fava beans, this extra prestosia grano violetto. I mean, that, excuse my, if any Italian people watch this, because it's an Italian heirloom, I apologise for my accent. So there we are. We're going to go back now to the dashboard. This is another one of the videos in the series on Perma-ledger. So, you know, once again, as I always say, thank you very much for watching, and we will follow up with other videos. Thank you.